Welcome back to part 2 of the exclusive Duncan Ferguson interview here on Toffee TV. So Duncan, when you finished, you just went off our radar, disappeared, sailed off into the sunset to
went away for a
Mallorca
couple of years.
something,
I did,
was it?
a couple of years there.
Yeah.
Had to get away really. I took the family away, try something different, you know what I mean? Got back into football, started working in a private academy, started taking my badges, went through that route, you know. Obviously wanted to get back to Everton.
Did you ever think that you would do that as a player? Because I remember...
I think as a coach, not so much as a coach. I think you just want to be a manager, didn't you? You just want to be a manager. You think it's easy, didn't you?
I remember when you were taking your badges and there'd been because you had disappeared. You'd completely disappeared. Like no one, people got I saw you in a bar in Mallorca or whatever, and you completely gone off the radar. And because you didn't speak to the press anyway, it was like you were completely gone. And then I remember seeing a few things like saying, "Oh, someone seen him up in Newcastle. He was doing a coaching session or something." Like, "Oh, people were like, Duncan being a coach, it just didn't." Because when I was growing up, people always said, "Oh, he doesn't like football. He's not into it." That's what people used to say. Yeah. He's not bothered. He doesn't really like football. He just comes in and plays and then goes home. You don't see him.
Because obviously the trouble you'd had with the press, and you decided not to speak to them. No one knew anything about you, and
it's quite
as
amazing,
you well know.
It is. It's
people. Amazing how stories can grow, can't they?
People
WhatsApp messages.
How your reputation can get can be damaged or can grow for absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
Played football since I was 6 or 7 on the streets. Boys Brigade boy. School football. Grassroots football. Professional.
And you don't
play
like
for a national team.
You don't like football.
Worked every day.
Yeah.
And doing rain when everybody who loved football was sitting in the house.
Yeah.
And I'd be out in the street kicking a ball about on my own now because all the kids who all love football all left to go with birds and go to the discos, but there's me out in the street battering a ball off the wall to the leather come off it and to the big bladder stuck it. Remember the thing come out it? And you have to go and get another ball. And because I didn't like football, and then you go through all the trials and you go through all the fitness and all the operations and all and you go to the top at 34, playing at the highest level. And then you take a break because you're sick because you've not got football in your life anymore. You've not got Everton in your life anymore. So you actually, because you're that upset about the situation, you take yourself out of that situation with your family. After a year, you're thinking, what am I doing? I'm a young man. I've been out of football for 1 year, and you're desperate to get back. So then you start going through your badges, you start working for a private academy to try and recruit players for the academy, which I was doing. And whether I want to go back to my love, I want to go back to football, I want to go back to Everton. And that's what you do. So where these stories come from,
but WhatsApp, I've told you.
No, people
what's that when you've been back there with them? What's that when you've been on there with them?
That's it, people just make stories up, don't they? To what suits their agenda.
Because going back to your point, I never spoke to the press, so let's make it up. Let's listen to the man in the pub. listen to my mate's mate said this.
Dog.
My mate's mate was there.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it? That's the way.
That's what you do.
But who's ever actually been right next to me to tell the actual truth, the real story?
So
anyway, right now, it's happening.
Well,
listen, I know certain people, but I've never heard this from you coming out of your mouth, that kind of thing. Because you're right, when it's quiet, people will just fill the space. They can say what they want. You're not going to reply because you're not in the press.
I've always found, guys, I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's when you're popular or when you've got a bit of a name, people want to damage you. They'll damage you, and also know that they want to talk about maybe the name, because it makes them feel important. If they talk about a no mark or a guy who's not really, in the
there's no
conversation, so they then become the no mark. So they talk about the guy who's got the name, Duncan Ferguson. Oh, what was that? And that makes them feel important. And that's followed me through all my career. And a lot of it, to me, has always boiled down to a bit of jealousy.
Well,
there's always been a wee bit of jealousy because I've been popular, and I've been popular with fans, and I've also been a part of the city, part of the street.
But you are a mystery. You've always been a mystery though as well, because people expect a certain way of, like, there's other players you see having 18-year-old birthday parties and then in like Hello magazine and all this kind of thing. You kept yourself to yourself, and that's you're right. Some people didn't like that because there was value in your name. And if they're not making some value off your name, then why should you make any value of it? And you see that all the time now. It's not.
But it is like Duncan just said,
saying
it's jealousy.
It's jealousy, and it's not allowing someone to just live their own lives.
And that's why you get stuff now, people. Even now, you know, I'll come on to you being a coach, but even now, and you don't need to reply to this because I'm just going to say it, but even now people are making stuff up because they don't know it. He doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. Why would people want to be like that for one of our own? I don't get it. And
it makes them feel a bit more important, doesn't it? I think.
It happens all over.
It does happen. You're not the only one, are you? But it's not when we're talking about.
But it happens.
But anyway, you're back. The greatest news was you're back at Everton. You come back to Everton and Duncan Ferguson's back at Everton, and it was a big story.
I went to see Moisey because me and Moisey party don't know the great terms because we were towards the end of it really. We're not getting told.
Yeah.
That I was my Everton career was over with. I've never spoke about it, but I'll tell you what happened. The next day after the game, we all got called into Belfield. And everybody who got called in was everybody, all the kids, everybody. And they were getting told you were no longer wanted. And I was a part of that. So I was in a queue waiting to see the manager. Okay? Nobody knows this. And I got the hump. So I was standing in a queue behind poor young 16-year-old kids who were getting released, and they're crying their eyes out, you know what I mean? And I'm walking in there, and I've got to wait. So when I went in to see the manager, steam was coming at my ears. By this time, you know what I mean? I thought it was being disrespectful to me.
Yeah.
That, it could have been done a bit better than this. But as I say, it's very seldom it really is ever done better. You know what I mean? There's always a gripe. And the time I got in to see the manager, I wasn't having it.
No, what's what? Yeah.
So when I walked in, I gave to him, basically, and he actually was trying to apologise. If I knew you'd been in the building, Duncan, I'd go. You know what I mean? He didn't know I was waiting half an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jump up and down screaming. You know what I mean? So the time I'd gotten to him.
Yeah.
I'd give him a double barrel, you know what I mean?
And both big personalities as well.
Yeah, he gave it back. Moisey was no soft, by the way. Me and Moisey would go at hammer and tongs, you know what I mean? My God, you know what I mean?
There were stories.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? He'd stand up. Moisey was a great character, you know what I mean? He's a typical jock, really, you know what I mean? Strong-willed. And he went to shake my hand, and I basically turned away. And I walked out the door, and honestly, I would only just stepped out the door, and I said, God, he was man enough to do that, but I wasn't man enough to shake his hand. You know, that time the steam was coming at my ears. And I regretted it. Because I'm a man myself. I like to think I'm a man myself, and I should have shook his hand.
Yeah.
And then, anyway, I went away, and that's part of the reason. No, that story, but of course I've struggled to cope, no being at Everton, and no having football in your life. It's a tough thing. You've done it your whole life, you know what I mean? So that's when I went away back to Mallorca and blah, blah, and then we would come back, and I phoned up Everton and blah, 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 and Moisey actually got on the phone and said to me, I've been thinking about you. And I went, right, well, I've been thinking about you a lot. He went, I've got something for you. And I said, well, look, I want to come back. I want to come firstly and see you. He went, right, so come here. So we got here, I went up, I went into Moisey's office, and I said, look, 5 years ago, I wasn't man enough to shake your hand. There's my hand. Can we be man enough now to shake mine? And he said, don't, and he shook my hand. And that was it, the two of us were,
It was done.
It was done. Shook each other's hand. And he said, sit down, big man, got something to discuss with you. So we sat down, and he actually wanted me to be an ambassador. Okay. He said, I've been thinking about you a lot. He says, we need to get kids into the academy. I need a big name in the city. The fans love you. The club. We want you to be a part of the club. And at the time, I think Kenny was doing it for Liverpool. He was going to kids' doors and all that and getting me signed for Liverpool's academy and all that. Yeah. So he wanted me to counteract that within the city to get to do on the recruitment side. I went, yeah, brilliant. I says, but I've been taking my badges. I want to be a coach. I've been going down that route. He went, well, you know, and I said to him, I'd like to do it here if it's possible, you know. He said, brilliant, big man, of course you can. And he got me in the academy. He said, it'll not be easy for you. I'll put you down the academy and you have to work your way up. No problem with me. So I went down the academy and I worked in the academy for years, 7 days a week, 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 at night, 7 days a week. That's what I did, to get my qualifications, to go through everything, and you know, to do the hard yards. That's what I did. And the first year or two with no money, never paid me. I just did it, you know what I mean, did it because I wanted to get through my badges. I wanted to progress my career, you know, in the coaching.
What was it like to come back to Everton as a ex-player but still as a fan and be able to influence?
It's like if you use work for Everton, what would it be like? No, if you were working for Everton now, what would it be like? You know what I mean? It's a dream, innit? Everton had been a massive part of my life. I come at 22, I left at 34. All my family's, you know, my wife, my kids, everything, it was a big part of me. And obviously getting back through the door, you know, it was, you know, it meant the world to me, and it still does. And you know, I'm still here, and it's that pull, isn't it? It's the badge, it's the colour, it's the city, it's the fans. It's very, very hard to give it up. Very hard.
Hear it in your voice, Dunk. And hear it in your voice, Dunk. How much it means here. It's
and I've not spoken about these things. This is
you know.
The actual coaching then, you know, how would you describe yourself as a coach? Because obviously people again will look at you and go, big man, oh, he probably just wants it banged long because he had it. So what's your have you got a, you know, people talk about philosophy, it's like the buzzwords, and I was a philosophy of
style
a
of player, like,
and all that. But
winning games at football is paramount, isn't it? So, but when I started in the academy, I liked the possession game of football. Okay. I mean, I went with I fell in with Kevin Sheedy. She's legend that he is. He took me under his wing. Yeah. And me and him worked together, and you know, he allowed me to develop as a coach, and I wanted to play the possession game because at that time it was all Barcelona at the time, and you know, I felt that was the right way to go. So we started to build for the back and keep possession and make sure we dominated the ball, and I think that's the best way to develop kids. So that was really your style of play at the time, you know. And you know, we had all the young players that you know, the Kieran Dowells and the John Joe Kennys and the Tom Davises and the Joe Williamses and the Matty Pennants. I was working with all the kids when they were 14, you know what I mean? Because I was obviously coming through the academy, we had them at 14, 15, 16, 18s. But really it was a possession. Yeah, that's style of play, you know, and building for the back, which everybody's doing now.
Everyone's doing it now.
But you know, we were doing it back in the day.
Do you think with the
but there's nothing wrong with hitting a striker, by the way.
No, that's what it was.
But that's easy to do.
You know, it's a long pass. It's not a long ball, by the way. It's a long pass, and new actually, it's always trends, isn't it? Yeah. But if like what teams do now is, because everybody builds for the back and the rules have changed. Everybody's sitting inside the box now. Everybody's smothering the box to press the ball. Well, there's nothing better than to just beat the press by dropping the ball into a Fellaini or a striker, chest the ball. Your midfield players come and support the ball. You've knocked 5 or 6 of the players out the game, and you're counter-attacking. That's the best ball. Surely that's got to be one of the best balls.
But that's an art as well, isn't it? That's being that centre forward and holding onto the ball and keeping people off your back. That's an art, isn't it? Which is a dying art.
Which, funny enough, Ruud was one of the first coaches which actually said that to the team. Don't hit his head. If you're going to hit the long pass, make sure you drop into his chest. Make sure he can control the ball. He was one of the first coaches that did that, because back in the day, it was always to the head. Yeah. Head for the flick on, head for the flick on. And because I got so good at heading the ball, it got a bit repetitive. But Hurley was one of the first. Drop it into him. Drop it into his chest, drop it into him. He can control it and bring the people into play. And I think that's still the best.
Well, we've seen that with Fellaini, didn't we?
Well, just before you go on to Fellaini, you somehow Hull-Chain drop it in. He did also drop you and Shearer, which shows he doesn't know everything.
He was waiting for that.
No, but I'm saying, you know, but like Ped just said, that Everton did develop that with Fellaini. He was amazing at that, and even for United,
it gives you an option, doesn't it? Yeah. If you've got the best players in the world, you can do that all. You can do it all, no problem. But if you've not, and you're getting a ball to a centre back, who is he's right-footed, but he's playing left centre back, and you're giving him the ball. Yeah. Surely that's high risk. Now, he might be able to work his way out it, and you know, and teams can do it. But if you've got the ball then to drop the ball in and beat the press, you're knocking at that team, aren't you? And you're getting yourself the pitch. So I think
who's good at that? Tell you who's good at that? Zlatan. He's on a free, isn't he?
He's a free, Zlatan. Yeah, he'd be all right.
You'd take him, wouldn't you?
You would. In terms of that, then, would you describe yourself as a coach who would if you were like setting a team up, would just be possession, or would you be like a bit of a hybrid coach and go, you know what, you can, when it's on, we can go long, don't be afraid, because City kind of mix it up. I think Liverpool do it really without giving
I think City did well because they hit the long ball, and Liverpool definitely did. They definitely hit the penetrating pass at the top to run behind. You've got to have every option. Yeah, it's got to be available to you. It can't just be one thing. Yeah. No, maybe back in the day when you get a big striker and you've got your team's no great, you tend to go down that route. Let's just hit the striker. Let's hit the striker. Maybe it's happened to me in the past with certain teams. Maybe we couldn't play through the midfield. Maybe they weren't quite. So we'd go a bit direct. You've got to be able to mix it up. If you've got the best players in the world and they cannot handle the ball, you build for the back. Yeah. And I think that'd be the main thing. But if you can get an option of a striker that can hold it up, it can head the ball, you get a striker that can run in behind. That's what you've got your £100 million player, haven't you? That's what we're all looking for. Somebody can hold up, somebody can control it, somebody can score, somebody can run in behind. Hey?
All of that. All of that. So how are you finding coaching? Obviously, we see you every week on the bench. You've gone through that. You've worked under quite a few different managers now. And how have you found the transition between different managers? Is that difficult as a coach, or
you always get a bit nervous when a new manager comes in because he expects different things for you. Yeah. But it grows you as a coach. Okay. Different bosses. Yeah. It's not quite what we want as a club. We don't want to be changing managers regularly because it creates instability. But as a coach, it keeps you on your toes. I've worked under a Spanish coach. I've worked under a Portuguese coach at the moment. I've worked under Dutch coaches. I've worked under British coaches. So I've had it all, you know what I mean? It keeps you on your toes. But of course, I had that grounding through the academy as well. Yeah, true. So I've done my time. I'm an experienced coach now. I'm probably maybe one of the most experienced coaches in the league now. I've been in 5 or 6 years in the Premier League, I think. Yeah. And I've played there for a long time as well, didn't I? So it keeps you on your toes working under different managers, and of course they want different things for you. Sometimes you're involved a lot, sometimes you're not involved at all. So whatever your boss decides for you to do on that day, that's what you do. You follow instructions, you be loyal to your manager and loyal to your club, and that's what hopefully that's what I show.
Something you just said there is important though, I think, as a fan. You've got the highest coaching badge you can get, haven't you? You've got the pro licence. So and that's not easy to get, because when I was younger, I wanted to be a coach and I looked into it. And it's ridiculously hard and it's ridiculously expensive if you're just a normal person. You've gone through that, the time, the effort, to put the hours in. The hours in, like you said, you did time for free for plenty of it. That just doesn't get handed to you. You've got to work hard for all that. And I think people forget that. You're Duncan Ferguson, you're Everton icon, you've been captain, you've won a trophy. Everton through and through, but that doesn't get you a job like you've got. You've got to put those hours in and be good at it, because otherwise
you've got to stay in the job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You'd be out the door. If you weren't.
Yeah, you've got to put that in. You've got to be good. Yeah. If you're not good, you're not here. Yeah. That's it. You've got to be good at your job, haven't you? A manager comes in and says, I don't like his coaching, or I don't like this, or I don't like this. Like, you get shown the door, don't you? Yeah. That's the end of it. So obviously you've got to be good at what you do. So hopefully I'm good at what I do. I've worked under a lot of managers. I've got a lot of experience. Other people don't get that. I'm at a club that I love. I've worked with a lot of great players, a lot of great strikers. I think the record's there.
Do you enjoy it?
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's my life. It's your life, the club. Yeah. I love the job. It's it's incredibly rewarding. It's incredibly stressful, as you all know. And you're sitting on that bench. It can be a lonely place, but it's a very rewarding place,
What's it like? Because you were a player, sitting on the bench, so you've got to show different emotion, I suppose. But because you're a fan of the club as well, what's it like when you sat there and have you seen the emotion when Richarlison scored at Southampton and you're up off the bench,
and the Tosin goal
when
as well.
Tosin goal, that emotions, the brilliant picture of you and the manager celebrating and things like that. But what's it like for you if things aren't going great? You feel it looks like you feel every kick,
It's just like a fan, and it's horrendous. It's horrendous. you know the feeling. You live and breathe it. I'm in there kicking every ball for us. I'm in there shouting for every decision. You just want us to win. We know certain position. We're in a difficult position in the league. And heaven forbid if you got relegated. So you're just desperate to get points.
Well, let me ask. How do you get away from that then? Is there anything you do outside? Is it your pigeons? Is there any way you can?
I used to do, as you know, I used to do the pigeons quite a bit. Not not so much now, but although I still go and see them to try and calm me down a wee bit. But you can't get away from it, can you? You can't get away from it. But I don't get away from it. You know, it's your life. It's every day. It's every minute of the day. You think about the club. You think about the fans. You think about results. You think about the next game. It's just on and on and on.
So you don't have that. You don't have anything. Coronation Street, EastEnders, anything.
Films,
any films or anything that you.
No, I watch the football on the Sky. I watch the football, and that's it, mate. And it's that's all I do. To be honest, I go to Finch Farm. I go home, and I come here.
You can come here whenever you
want.
Whenever you want.
We'll talk footy all day. So what does your missus say? So surely your missus will be like, you know, Dunk, come on, it's footy, get over it. Or is it difficult when we lose? Is it when you go home? Because as fans, if the night goes and, you know, my missus will look and I won't speak, you know, and I'll be like, you're all right? And I go, yeah, I'm fine. And then go to bed and you get up the next morning, you go, oh, that sinking feeling comes. Is it like that for you? Is it just...
No, and probably 10 times possibly.
Yeah.
Because
you're
a part of it. You're a part of it. It's your job. You're there. You know, if results aren't there, you're a part of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's everything. It means everything to you. Yeah. And it can hit you really, really hard.
See, I have to have stuff though. I mean, your jobs, it's not the same. But I have to have stuff to get away from me. Because if it didn't, I honestly think it would like swallow me up. I really, because listen, we come in every day and we have to talk about Everton, whether it be great or whether it be horrible. So I have to have stuff to get away from it, because otherwise I just think, because I sit in the Gladys seat with my missus as well. So it's both of us.
Oh my God.
It's both of us. So he goes home and it's like he can talk to his wife. I go home and my missus has got the same face as me, and I have to.
Mine doesn't a lot. Tries not to. Me lad come in and she tries not.
But we love it, don't we? We love the club, don't we?
Oh, but that's
we love
what
it.
It is. That's
too much.
And it's great. That's it. But we've got to be positive as well, haven't we?
No, listen. I'll just say before we go on to something that's really important, which is all the other stuff you do, but. You know, people need to be positive this season because there's a big portion of the season left, and we've just had a good win, and you know, we're in a quarter final of a cup as well. So
I'm going to say something right now. You might want to cut it or no, right? But I want to say this right. When we had Sam Allardyce, right, Everton manager, right, it was probably the toughest time in my career as a coach and also as an Everton fan, right? Okay. Because it was incredibly hurtful, stressful, and it was tough to go through that period of time when we were winning games at football, no matter how you look at it, and we're getting booed off the pitch. It completely broke my heart. Yeah. How and for right reasons or wrong reasons.
No.
That hit me incredibly hard.
Because you're just doing your job.
And you've got to support your manager. You've got to be loyal. So you can't step back for that. So you've got to go. And I'm that character to go forward. So when a guy is becoming under and there's no light with the fan base, right? And he's trying to do his way the best to get results, and everybody's destroying him. It's easy to step away in it.
Yeah.
It's easy to step back.
Distance yourself.
But and that was hurtful to me, and I actually decided to take it. Said, no, this guy needs support. He's your manager. Yeah. We're trying to win games at football, and that was the toughest period in my career and possibly a wee bit of recent history. How we were winning games at football, and people weren't happy, and I bloody hate that. That is incredible. You know, that was incredibly tough to take. Because to me, that's no Everton. Yeah. That's no Everton fans, and it's a feeling, and everybody's entitled to that feeling. It's their club, but you know that makes sense to you.
No, it does make sense. No, we
you know, and if things were to move on, you know, and things happen in the summer and people lose their jobs, but we can't stop supporting Everton. We can't stop. We can't want Everton to win games at football.
No, that's right.
No, we get that all the time, Dunk. I want us to lose this game because it might mean X will lose his job. No, I don't get that. You want Everton to, managers will come and go, and whatever happens, happens. But you should always want your team to win.
You should always want to be a good Evertonian, shouldn't you? And I try to be a good Evertonian. I try to live that, life as being a good Evertonian. And I think we should all try to do that. And what will be. Support the club. And we do, God Almighty, we travel everywhere and our thousands, we spend fortunes on supporting the club. And we need to make sure that we support the manager and support that.
Well, that leads me lovely into the next thing, which when you're talking about supporting the club, you are someone who does support the club, and you do it through all of the community stuff. We see you, that you were at the 5K run the other week. I've seen you going to people's houses, people who were ill. I've seen you go. I
interviewed you at the Lily Centre a couple of years ago.
Stuff like that. You are an Evertonian, and you are in this city. I remember you saying, after you'd been here for about 6 months, how you love this city because it's very much like Glasgow and things like that. But it is important to you, isn't it, that Liverpool City and the community, and doing stuff with obviously Karina, who's fantastic at Everton.
Unbelievable. She does an unbelievable job, Karina.
She is
incredible. But yeah, it is a big part of it, and it's something I've loved. I love doing it. You just give a bit of love. What's wrong with that? No, I mean, and you get it back, won't you? But I mean, I've maybe people don't see that me as a person, but you get a reputation, don't you? You can't shake it off. It follows you around. No matter if it's on a football pitch or, you get that reputation follows you around, doesn't it? But I don't see myself as that person. I see myself as the person I see off the field. And I try to give as much back as I possibly can to the city because they've given me so much. And of course, you touched on it earlier in your programme about when I was up in holiday in Glasgow. That gets you through. You never forget those things. And the fans and the people of the city, for both sides, have been fantastic to me, because I think they see somebody who cares, to be honest with you, and I do care, and I'll continue to care. And and what's to go and visit somebody or go, it's great to see their faces, to make them make them smile, or it's incredibly rewarding, and it's something I love doing, and I'll always do it. I'll always be a man for the people, I think.
It's lovely to hear you say that, but a lot of people don't do that, and then they might say pay lip service and stuff. So you're never going to say it, but we will say it, and that's thank you from Evertonians and for everyone who the work you do, because it is. Listen,
well, it's like you've got two jobs. It's like you're a coach and you're an ambassador at the same time.
Yeah.
And but you go far beyond what you need to do. I've seen pictures of you turning up at people's houses where the pictures are only there because someone's gone, look who's just turned up my house. It's not a chance for
Sky haven't turned up.
Sky haven't turned up, or someone else has set it up for a. You've turned up to go and see someone who's at their lowest, and it doesn't matter. I know 3 or 4 people you've gone to see recently who were at their absolute lowest, and just you turning up just goes, oh my God, he's come in and he just wants to chat, wants to have a cup of tea. And just wants to have a chat.
He wouldn't have a cup of tea off me.
No.
I don't know what he's
had. Water there. You didn't need chocolate biscuits, did you?
Oh my God! I actually got a chocolate bar.
I've got a terrible sweet tooth.
I got it. Well, you can have a chocolate bar in a minute. I know how what you're saying there and what Ped's just said there is absolutely right. I worked in social work for 12 years, and you take some of the stuff you see home. So it's for you to take it. Going into these people who are ill or whatever, and I know that I've seen something today that I'm not going to say in the camera that just come from a part of you that is just above and beyond, and I think you do an incredible. I know you sat here, and I know that
it's nice to see.
And also it comes from from Everton in the community. They're doing it with you, and they're setting you up to do, not setting you up to do these things. You're doing these things with people from Everton community, and it's not. There's no sort of anything for them in it for them either. It's because you and them, that's what you do. You love Evertonians and you love trying to help people. And I think that should just be absolutely commended. We've absolutely commended.
Neville Southall in here earlier in the week, and he's another. He's very like you with those views, help people and be nice, and it's important and stuff like that.
I think it's
and it's great.
I think it's incredibly important. I mean, we're a family. We know a family. We all know each other, don't we? Really. There's 40,000 in the ground. Maces are through this area.
Yeah.
We all know the families in Liverpool. They're all legends, aren't they? We all know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. We're all a close knit family, and I like to think that I do anything for them. You know what I mean? And hopefully I'll just continue to do that. You know what I mean?
I know the impact you have on this city because the couple of lads who were Reds were all giddy when you walked in
They were
before.
all giddy.
And they're not like that. So
They're
that
not like
tells
that.
me that you've made that impression across the city. I went out to make a drink and you were in there and you were like, "You sound, doesn't he? And he's just like a normal fella." And you're like, "He is." And you forget about all what you said before because you don't talk to the press and people build this caricature up of you.
They don't know you, mate, do they?
But it's
That's
respect,
it.
isn't it? Like, you know, I have a lot of respect for, you mentioned before, Kenny Dalglish. He does loads of work around the city. How can anyone turn around, it doesn't matter what colour you're at, how can anyone turn around and go, "Oh, that Kenny Dalglish," you go, "Hang on, look at the work he's done for this city."
Great fella.
You know, Rafa Benitez with the work he's done for the you know, Hillsborough Foundation, all that kind of thing. You got to look at these people and take them away from football and go, they're just dead good they're good people. Forget about what colour you are, red or blue. They're just good people. And I think that's how people see you as well. They just go, "He's just a dead sound fella." And he gets it. He gets what it's the importance of this city.
Footy is massively important in this city, but I keep saying it to other people as well, is that at the end of the day, it's a game. And what you're doing is putting the game to one side and just being a human being. And I think, without it being a party political broadcast, you know...
I think this city will find you very quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
I think Scousers aren't soft today.
No.
Right, and if you come down from Scotland, or you come down up from London, or you come down from wherever you come from, you bounce. If you come from Birmingham and you bounce from Liverpool, and you think you're Jack a lad, and you think you're a boy, I think you'll quickly come unstuck.
Yeah.
And the fact that...
And they'll find the real side here as well.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. We're here 25 years later from when you signed for Everton, and those people still love and appreciate you. And like you said before, I'm talking Scousers, I'm not just... Or people don't necessarily need to be a Scouser, but people who live in this city. You know, I've got that appreciation for you. And I think if you can stay somewhere for 25 years and still be revered by people and still have people made up to see it, then you ain't doing a bad job.
If people still want to see me, I'm made up to go and see them. That's it. You know what I mean? That's all about it. I'm made up. I'm still very humble that people, after all these years you've stopped playing football, actually still want to shake your hand. They still want to hear an autograph. They still want to hear a picture. It's very humbling.
I seen at the 5K the other week, there was a queue for you. Yeah. Like, down the hill. You know, so...
So no, it's been great for me, to be honest. I can't thank them enough.
Let me ask you this. This isn't even on the board, but I just want to ask you this. With obviously Everton brought out the second consultation results for Bramley Moor Dock for a stadium move in the future this week. But what will you miss most about Goodison Park when we go?
Being on that grass, that hallowed turf, I suppose, you know what I mean? The big nights, your big results that you've got, the famous nights, you know what I mean? The one that sticks in mind that you mentioned, the 2005 Man United, when we beat them 1-0, was a great night for us. And you know, so you've got the stadium, haven't you? You've got the memories within that stadium, within the walls, you know what I mean? When the new stadium comes, we'll know how the memories we'll be thinking back then. That'll be the church in the corner.
In the corner, yeah.
What are we going to get a chapel down there? Maybe build one in the corner down there. They need to do something, didn't they?
Something like it,
all parts of that, really.
Just the ghost, isn't it, of the stadium? The memories that you're attached to it.
Yeah. And
what'd be lovely to see you making new memories of Bramley Moor Dock with the coat on, with DF.
Yeah.
Managing the side, imagine that, being a manager. I mean, listen, who knows what
goes
dream,
on? Eh? We've all got our dreams.
Is that, I mean, realistically, without anything else, future I'm talking about now, obviously ahead, is that an ambition of yours? Because I remember speaking to you at Finch Farm, it was before Wayne come back on it, so it was, because you told us Wayne was definitely going to...
It was your testimonial.
It
was your testimonial,
yeah.
We had a chat about Wayne.
I tell you what.
We had a chat about Wayne.
Thank me for that, have you?
I didn't know we could do it on the camera, though, that's the thing. You did tell us every day you spoke to him.
He was coming back, but...
And we got him back today, and we got him back, didn't we, as well?
He was back for a testimonial.
And he's back, which I told you about.
You did tell us about. But I remember asking you then about, is one day you dream to manage Everton, and you were a little bit like, well, I'm just doing this coaching now, so I think you're always
worried to say that you know, you should, of course it's your dream to manage Everton.
Oh, without a shadow.
I still want to play for Everton.
I still want to play up front.
You told me you were a good player. You told me Baz was better.
He is better. He was better than me. I've got no problem saying that. I know he was better than me.
I mean, I've never heard him. Now I'm going to start crying, though.
It's everybody's dream to manage.
I could have played. My dream's to play up front with you.
It's everybody's dream, innit?
Yeah. Can we form an over 40s team?
And I'm dunking it. Dear mate. But can we have a walk?
I'm nearly 50.
You're the same age as me, and I'm not saying I'm nearly 50, so can we have a walk on football one? That'll be all right. No,
so,
but...
So, yeah, look, everybody is dreaming to manage Everton. I'm one of the guys who dreams about managing Everton, but I'm also realistic.
Okay.
I also understand that Everton's a massive club, and we want the best managers in the world to manage Everton.
Yeah.
So so realistically, we want a we make want a manager with experience. We make want a manager who's won things, and of course, until I become a manager, I'm not that man, am I? So there's always that against you. That somebody will always throw it against you. He's not got the experience to be a manager, and you've got your hands up and say, well, haven't they? Although other managers have got big jobs with no being. Yeah.
So that ambition is there.
The ambition is still there. But I like to progress my career. I like to move on. Being a first team coach to being maybe an assistant manager or and build myself up that way, or become a manager. But of course, we love the club so much.
That's what I was going to say.
But I'm at Everton. It becomes very difficult for me then to say, right, that's it. I'm going to go and look for a job. I'm going to go and because I've never done it. Yeah. I cannot see myself not at Everton.
I suppose, and also if you're part of a coaching staff now, and we all want it to be successful because you'll revel in it just as much as whatever, and we take it from there, don't we? But we can say it as fans that one day would be great to see Duncan Ferguson as Everton manager. It'd be lovely to see. So who knows what the future holds? But
I would just love us to go and get a trophy. Oh. My God, come on.
Yeah.
But that will be great this year. You know what I mean? Let's get ourselves up the league. Yeah. And let's get this wee cup run going.
Well, that's it.
We can be at Wembley, can't we?
In the quarter final, aren't we? So
I might get the middle part and back out. I'm not quite sure I can pull it off now.
Well, I remember after we won the FA Cup, you went to the meal on the night with your kilt on. Yeah. So you're going to put the kilt back on.
I've still got the kilt. I think it was in my neck half the night. You know what I mean?
I've got a picture.
Unfortunately,
I've got a picture of you walking into the room because my dad was there. My dad was working there at the time.
What a great night that was.
Well, what a day that was.
I got married in a kilt, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you have any underneath?
Everton shorts.
Did you?
My eldest lad's middle name's Duncan because of you. So and he's not really into football.
I feel like we're fanboying a bit now.
Fanboy. Might cut that bit out, to be honest, because turn the camera off, then we'll fanboy. But listen,
let me just say one thing. Sorry. Duncan, I'm sure, will be doing loads more events with Everton community soon. So keep your eye out. There's going to be something special coming soon with Duncan and Everton community. I don't actually know what it is, but there will be.
He doesn't know either.
There will be. We're coming up with ideas.
Well, we had an idea. I'm not going to say what it is.
No.
But we're working on it. So it's a slow burner, but
we're working on it. Working on it. So keep your eyes open for that. Kind of logo for Everton community because we know how important they are.
Don't take so long in the future to ask me up. 5
years. You can come in every week.
You've had all these top boys up here before me, you know what I mean? I'm getting a bit jealous. Hey.
On that note, I would like to say a massive thank you to Duncan Ferguson. Thank you
God
very
bless
much
you, Baz. God bless you, Ped.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Every time he says my name. Every time.
Absolutely superb. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. And we'll see you soon on Toffee TV.